everyone, welcome to our first teaching kitchen. My name is Hanna Spratford and I'm the dietitian here at Luthercare. This is Cary Wells, he's the executive chef here at Cary's, and Jordan Stump is the executive chef at The Round. Today we're going to be showing you how to make chicken soup with homemade chicken stock. So March is National Nutrition Month, and one of the focuses of this month is reducing food waste. So about 40% of food in America is wasted. So we can all take small steps to reduce our food waste. And one of the ways that we can do that is through cooking. So Cary's going to get us started on our stock, and then I'll come in to show you some nutrition information.
Okay, so we've been doing rotisserie chicken every 2 weeks at Katie's, and I'm going to show you how to take bones from that rotisserie chicken. I roasted these off the oven at 350 degrees for half an hour. What this does is it gives it a nice dark color and will add to the flavor and the color to your chicken stock. If you just boil the chicken as it is, it will turn white and it won't have the same flavor value. The other thing I'll be showing you is making a mirepoix. That's celery, carrot, onion, bay leaf, thyme, peppercorns, and garlic. And we want to cut these in about the same size as the bones. And the reason for this is that we can extract the flavor out of the bones and the mirepoix, and it all happens at the same time. I'm going to show you some basic knife cuts to make your mirepoix. We're going to start with celery. And we're going to cut it right down the middle of the rib and make a nice medium dice. You kind of want to roll your knife through the celery. Now I know a lot of people like to throw away the celery leaves, but they add a lot of flavor to your stock. So that's a nice medium cut, again about the same size as the bones in your chicken. Same with the carrots. A nice medium dice, not too big, not too small. Okay, and as I'm cutting these vegetables, I have my stock pot or my kettle slowly warming because I'm going to sweat these vegetables down and cook them a little bit prior to putting the bones in and adding the water. This will bring out the flavors of the vegetables and again, making it a more fortified stock. Now, when you're making a mirepoix, your carrot, celery, and onions, you want 50% of it to be onions, 25% carrots, and 25% celery. I'm going to take these. I'm going to start cooking these. You can hear it sizzle a little bit. And you can also add your bay leaf, thyme, and peppercorn to this as well, also bringing out the flavors. We're going to stir this a little bit. Now, once these are cooked gently, you don't want to really brown them off too much, but you're going to gently cook these till they come a bit translucent. And this is where you're going to add your chicken bones, your roasted chicken bones. And then you want to use cold water. You don't want to use hot water, you want to use cold water. And you just want to cover the bones in the pot. Bring it up to a very gentle simmer, and then allow that to cook with that gentle simmer for about 6 hours.
So while Chef Cary's stock is simmering, I will talk to you about the mirepoix. So as Chef Cary mentioned, it is carrot, celery, and onion, and these vegetables are high in water content as well as a good source of fiber, which is really important for our gut health, maintaining satiety, It can also help manage blood sugars as well. So the carrots, they're high in vitamin A, which is really important for eye health, also vitamin C. And the celery and the onions are also high in vitamin C as well as other antioxidants. So for example, our onions contain an antioxidant called quercetin, and this has been shown to be beneficial for heart health. Another thing that's important for us for heart health is sodium intake. So when we're making a stock from home versus getting soup at the store or even at a restaurant, we're able to control how much sodium we're actually putting in our soup and our stock. So it's a good way to kind of manage the amount of salt that we're consuming. Less salt is typically always better for heart health, managing high blood pressure, if that's something that is important to you. So the vegetables from the Mirepoix are really going to provide a nutritious foundation for our stock. And then you can also always add extra vegetables later, which Jordan will mention as he finishes our soup. So I'll bring him in here to get us finished.
All right, hello everyone, I'm Chef Jordan. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a basic chicken and rice soup with some of the homemade stock that Chef Cary has made for us. We're going to get it rolling here. I have my pan preheated, maybe a tablespoon of olive oil, and a few knobs of butter. To your left you can see a myriad of vegetables. I'm going to start with the basic Mirepoix, carrot, celery, and onion. When Chef Cary added it to his stock, it was to improve the flavor and add minerals. For this application, we're going to be adding body and, something to bite down on in your soup. So as this cooks, you want to give it a little stir. The vegetables are going to start to release some of their moisture content. And as we let that go, we can turn our focus to the oven roasted chickens that Cary has presented me with. As you can see on my cutting board, I've broken them down into white meat and dark meat. And then for the final step, I've given them a small dice similar to the size of the vegetables because eventually it's going to go into our soup. Now that our vegetables are cooking and you can start to smell the aromatics, I'm going to add some fresh garlic. The reason I waited to add the garlic is because it's more finely chopped than the rest of the vegetables and you don't want to burn it. So, like we said previously, cooking is very much about the senses. You should be able to tell if you're doing it right by looking at what you're cooking, smelling what you're cooking, and even tasting what you're cooking. I am going to let you guys in on a little chef secret that I think my fellow chefs will agree with. Cooking is supposed to be fun, so you should always enjoy yourself while you're cooking. Go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine. Now, something you'll notice when you look into your pots, as your vegetables are cooking, you'll start to see them darkening and caramelizing and attaching to the base of the pot and the walls of the pot itself. This is actually a good thing. You don't want to be worried about this. It's something that we refer to as fond. And as chefs, we're very fond of fond because it's pure natural flavor. So in order to reincorporate this flavor back into your soup and not have it lost in your kettle, you're going to take the wine, whatever you haven't consumed thus far, and you're going to deglaze your pan. So there's a couple things that are happening here. As the wine hits the pan and becomes superheated, it's going to help that fond release and be reincorporated back into the soup, so you want to give it a nice stir. Also, there's a bit of chemistry happening here. Due to the fact that alcohol evaporates faster than water, as soon as the wine hits the pan, all of that alcohol is going to evaporate, and what you're left with is just a super concentrated, flavorful, very delicate. It's gonna highlight the notes of the wine and highlight the notes of the soup. It's a great base to start with. So at this point, we're going to let that roll for a minute or two more. We're going to take a look at the additional vegetables and starches that we have over here. For our purposes today, I'm just going to be making a basic chicken and rice soup. But as you can see, I have some diced potatoes. Maybe they were left over from a meal that you had previously. Some noodles, and then various different vegetables, asparagus, spears, broccoli, mix of peppers, and something my grandma Donna always used to do. I know it's kind of a Lancaster County thing. Diced hard-boiled egg in your chicken soup. So now that this is reducing, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. We'll start with the chicken. Give it a nice stir to incorporate. And then we will go in with the rice. The rice is also pre-cooked, assuming that you had it left over from the meal. That is the purpose for us this month, to use up the food that would otherwise go to waste. So then as this is coming together, I will reach over and take some of this delicious stock that Cary has made for us and fill it up about 3/4 of the way. So now, while this looks good and ready to eat, ideally you'd want to let it simmer for 20 to 30 minutes so that you can really bring together those flavors that you worked so hard to create to make one nice cohesive soup. And to even amp that up a little bit, I'm going to add just a pinch of salt. Not a lot is necessary. And I have some fresh herbs here tied to a string. We've got fresh thyme and fresh rosemary. This is what's called a bouquet garni, and the reason I tied it to a string is so that the herbs can go in whole, much like you're steeping a tea bag, and then you can retrieve them later without leaving them in your soup. So as we let this simmer, I will reintroduce Miss Hanna to give us some more nutritional information.
So we've talked about vegetables and sodium, and now I want to talk a little bit about protein and starch. So while we're simmering the chicken bones, this is going to release collagen, and collagen is the most abundant protein in the body, and it's really important for connective tissue, so our skin. It's also important for bones and teeth. So that's the collagen from the chicken bones, and then the chicken meat is going to give us a lot of protein as well, specifically complete protein. So what that means is that it provides all of the essential amino acids that our bodies need. So we're getting a lot of protein in our soup. And then for our starch, there's, as Chef Jordan mentioned, potatoes. We added brown rice to ours. There's pasta. So if you want to make your soup more nutritious, adding a whole grain such as brown rice is going to provide more fiber than a white rice or potatoes or pasta would. You can also add quinoa, which is one of my favorites. So it's a whole grain that is high in fiber as well as protein. And quinoa, even though it's a plant protein, it actually is a complete protein like chicken. It provides all of the essential amino acids that our bodies needs, which is really cool. So if you're vegetarian, it's a great grain that you can add to your soups. And soups are great because they're very versatile, so it's a chance for you to add different vegetables that you maybe want to try, or different grains that you might not want to eat as like a side dish. So it's a great opportunity to try to add different things, maybe increase your vegetable intake, whole grain intake. Again, if the whole grains provide fiber, as I mentioned previously, is really important for gut health, and maybe you're looking to maintain your blood sugar. So soup is a great way to do those things, and it being National Nutrition Month, it's nice to try something different and a little more nutritious.
Okay, by this time our soup has had enough time to simmer and have all of those flavors really meld together, so I'm going to retrieve our bouquet. Gonna turn it off here, put some extra dark meat chicken in the center of our bowl because that's my favorite. And I'm gonna dish us up a bowl. There we are. As tasty as that's going to be, I'm going to finish it with some fresh parsley for a little burst of color and freshness. And you're ready to enjoy.
So if you've tried this recipe, we really want to hear about it, so please reach out. On behalf of myself, Chef Cary, and Chef Jordan, we'd all like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Oh babe, this world is a vendetta, as bittersweet as bitter cold, but in your gaze is sweet.